I am alive. Hello. Hello. Welcome to Healing Conversations. Um, I am here technically solo until Ramel goes live on Instagram here, and he is here. So I'm going to go ahead and tap in. We're doing the virtual thing today.
Daniela, hello. Welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. Come on in, y'all. Hey, Goddess Love. There she goes. Sister Angelique. Hey, Sister Denise. I thought about you the other day, Sister Denise. I'm going to reach out to you. Hey, Bounce Back Getter. All right, y'all. I am about to bring Sister Angelique on to Healing Conversation.
Introductions.
Awareness on. And if you feel even more bold and courageous, push that request button and come and join us in this beautiful conversation because it is going to be juicy. Hey, Helen. Sister Angelique, how we feeling? We got the people coming in today.
They rolling. I'm feeling really good. Just grateful for this beautiful day. Grateful that we are tapping in together and having this conversation. And yeah, how are you?
Feeling good. I am feeling, it's so beautiful when you shift perspectives on things that you're experiencing, how things just literally shift in your life and your energy just starts to align back to its natural state. So I'm feeling connected. I'm feeling grounded. I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling aligned is how I'm feeling today.
Grounded, grateful, aligned. Okay.
All right, y'all, just to give you, if this is your first time ever tuning into the conversation, Sister and Angelique and I created this safe space for us to talk all things healing, expansion, and growth. We bring our real life experiences to this space as we navigate through them. And we honestly are no experts. We are just beings having our own human experience, and we share as we grow, and we grow through expression. So this is a way that we support each other and others through having these healing conversations. You want to say anything before we start?
Basically that. You funny if you're coming through from Ramel's side of things. My name is Angelique. Raymel and I have known each other for like 6 years now, and like he said, we've been on this journey for a minute, and we've picked up some things along the way that have supported us and have found strength and beauty in getting support from community. We created this space, and I'm just really grateful to be here. I love when you all tap in and chat in the comments because it feeds me as well. It's helped me to have a lot of questions in this. So I definitely highly encourage you to tap in, show up on the stage, whatever. Yeah, we are no experts. We simply have experience and we're willing to share that with you all. So, yeah, welcome.
All right, y'all. So let's just dive into school and get this conversation started because I feel like this is not only going to support myself, but I feel like this is going to support others, especially when we're talking about healing and the conversations that we will have. So my lesson that I've been receiving recently is to honor and express myself. And one just encounter that really like triggered me is the best way I can describe it. Recently is this is gonna be so juicy, y'all.
We didn't fully brief, so we're all getting this at the same time, everybody.
Yes. But okay, so I won't name any names, just out of honor and respect of just people and just the privacy. But I will just share. So I have a friend who is a close friend and is on the journey of healing and expansion themselves. But this friend has a tendency to want to be a savior. So it wants to save others who it feels like are experiencing hardships, trials, tribulations, things that they may just be heavy in life. They have this tendency to want to save them because that's just, I don't know if that's just the nature of who they are or just how they are used to operating and showing up, but that's just who they are. And in regards to what I've experienced from them. Now, this friend recently had like some awakening to where they were led to something, it activated something within them, and they were excited and enthused about this awakening. But then they started to like want to include me, and not to say that I'm resistant to it, but the way and approach and how they were trying to include me was like, I got this message for you, and you're supposed to do this, and this is what this is supposed to be, and consciousness said that you're gonna be resistant to it and all the things. And though they may have good intent, though they may have a meaningful approach, but the way in which they're trying to deliver the message to me creates resistance within me, because when someone is trying to tell you what to do on your journey of expansion, growth, and healing, what I have become aware of on this journey of just self-discovery and just knowing that we are all having our own unique experience, and we have our own unique connection to this higher presence that's called millions of names, and we have our own relationships. So we get our own individual downloads, we get our own individual guidance, and no one knows what the other missing piece to someone else's puzzle is but themselves. And though we may be messengers, that we are meant to deliver a message, but once that message is delivered, leave it there, let it be. Often we have a tendency to want to plant a seed, is what I'll use the analogy of, and then we're trying to water the seed, force the seed to grow. That may not be meant to grow in the speed of which you're trying to force it or make it grow in regards to someone else's awakening, someone else's healing, someone else's expansion, someone else's growth. We don't have the control over that, but you can plant the seed in which you may have been called to deliver. But in regards to how that seed is meant to sprout out, is not within your control. And when the friend shared this information about their experience, their awakening, I was excited for them. I'm like, okay, like, yes, you got your awakening, you getting your downloads, like me being a supportive friend, that's what I was doing. But then I noticed that they were just trying to make me feel some type of way that I wasn't as excited, as cool to do all the things that they were doing. And I noticed that every time that they would talk about this, they would try to just make me feel some type of way, like, oh yeah, spirit or consciousness told me that you were going to be, your ego is going to be this and that and the third. And I'm like, as a messenger, once again, now your ego is trying to show up and try to call out my ego, but ego recognizes ego. Souls recognize the soul. So the soul knows that that's not my space or place to do or to try to force, but it's all about flow. It's all about alignment. It's all about just honor. So I noticed like the other day, the friend was like trying to once again like instill and force me to do the things and have the excitement, all of this. And I'm like, yo, I'm being a supportive friend for you. And I'm like honoring yours, but don't negate my own awakenings. And I think that at times we think awakenings has to be this big extravagant shift or thing. But every single moment that you become aware of something that you wasn't once aware of, you've awoken. So awakening doesn't have to come in a certain package, a certain size, a certain form. It's literally what we do every day if we're present, if we're open, and if we're willing to allow ourselves to see things outside of the lens in which we're normally seeing them. So that's where I had to like really bring to their awareness, like, I see you, but hear me.
Right.
force me to do something that you are so like pulled to do, but then you're trying to shame me for not being as excited or enthused as you. So I had to really like set that boundary, and even like they reference to some things. So like I've shared thinking and believing that that's a safe space to like just let out when I'm having human experiences and expressing it as a reference to why I need to pay attention and have this awakening. Then that has to bring us to their awareness. Like, okay, so now are you a safe space for me? Because if you're using things that I've shared with you out of just privacy and security, thinking that that was that, don't you ever bring that as a reference to what you're trying to awaken me to. So it was just so much that came up for me during this experience, and I wanted to bring this to the conversation because I feel like on the journey we have a tendency to want to be Jehovah's Witnesses, and we want to have our pamphlets, and we want to say, hey, this is the awakening that you need to have, you should have, and the word came through me, and I'm telling you, you got to do it now, this way. And it's like, that's what I won't say have run away from all my life. But that is why I was never pulled to religion, because of that force, that bullying, that condemning, that shaming, versus honoring. Like, you gave me the plate, but let me eat it as I choose to. Don't force it down my mouth. Don't force it down my throat, because then I can't digest or process. But now you're trying to suffocate me with what you are feeling like your experience is. So I'll land it there because so much I could say, but I just wanted to bring this because I feel like either we may have experiences at some point, or we may have been the one who tried to shove and force an experience onto someone else. And I wanted to bring that to the space because I would say, and I'm not really big on right, wrong, good or bad, but I would say that isn't the correct, that isn't the approach you want to take when you're really trying to support someone, because instead of pulling them in, you tend to push them away.
Yes. Okay. You know, it's so interesting because when you brought up the topic of like expressing yourself and being authentic, yes, very great expression. Thank you, Raymond. I was curious what was bringing that up for you because you didn't really like talk about it. I was just like, hey, what should we talk about? You're like, okay, let's talk about this. I was like, phenomenal. That's plenty there. But you know, there's always like a little story about what is bringing these things forward to have the conversation. So I appreciate you sharing and allowing yourself to express your discomfort and disagreement while still honoring that this person has like an excitement, you know, and you can just kind of see that it's like their enthusiasm about it, you know, and not hold them in a place where you're judging them. Like you were saying, it's not so much a right or wrong thing. It's about or like what they're doing isn't so much a right or wrong thing. It's more so being aware that your awareness in your journey is your own, and then their awareness in their journey is their own, and there's no reason for them to push them on, you know, themselves onto you. You feel me? Um, and I think that it's also very interesting how you talked about like the ego, recognizing the ego, because it does get to a point, or it can get to a point where we have these insights, and we have this knowledge, and we have these skills, and we're like, you should do this too. This has helped me so much. Um, but when we recognize like somebody isn't picking that up, or they're just like, okay, I don't want this, or this isn't my season for this, or whatever, or I'm just not there. It takes emotional maturity and spiritual maturity to allow people to be on their journey, you know? And that's a big part of recognizing if we are spiritually mature is, are we trying to force other people to be on the journey with us? Are we using, like you shared, which can be very triggering and damaging? You shared some of your story about how sort of similar situations have happened in the past where people brought things up to like use as ammo against you, almost, right? So it's like having that, having spiritual maturity is important when we know things about people and they have chosen to be a safe space for us, then, or they've chosen us to be a safe space, right? And we have some sort of insight or hit or download about something that relates to their life experiences, what they've been going through. Because if we don't approach it properly, right, then people get rubbed the wrong way, people get pushed away, people want to start to just shut down completely. And then that question comes up, like you were saying, is this still a safe space for me? Am I still going to be able to come and share and be vulnerable and just feel like I can be held without judgment? And like you're saying with this person is kind of giving, I don't know. I don't know anymore because they're kind of in the space, right? And so I think just having the awareness of individual journey and having an individual journey. And yes, I may have some clarity about my way that I would move through a situation that someone else has been in, right? Doesn't mean that I should tell them to move on this clarity that I've had. It's actually an opportunity to say, okay, what within me, what within my life, what within my experience is maybe mirroring what this other person has gone through. And this clarity is for me. If they're not taking it, then this clarity is for me to navigate my own life with. So, yeah, I'll pause that there because I noticed there were some comments popping up.
We got some comments too. Tell me, I just requested after your request. Nora says that an important distinction may be there now all the way to behaviors, religion and the way of spreading the word is the new your way is necessary. That people are in the line. Exactly. Thank you for talking about
Mhm.
yeah. There's so much with that because especially now that we're bringing it to the conversation of healing, we
Hey,
have to be
Sydney.
mindful of our approach to others. They so many like some others, some people have different wounds that they're carrying and that they have accumulated during their experience. And you want to have a approach when you're trying to bring awareness to anyone about whatever the thing may be. Be mindful of how you may be triggering someone because that your approach is what allows either the message to be received and delivered or it to go to junk mail.
Yeah.
And when I see
Spam.
it's going to spam,
Block.
it's not even being open. Okay, I'm not even seeing it. I see your name for junk mail. That's where it's being redirected to. It doesn't even have. It can't even approach the main mail files. Open up, welcome. I'm excited to get converted here. I can think that you coming to me, y'all, and I say something. I'm like, look at this.
You can't really force anything down into the flow, right? Because timing is everything, and everybody's got their own timing on things. And usually, when I sometimes also feel like there's a pushback, the question that I like to ask my higher self is, when do you think it's going to be the best time for me to bring this up with this person? Right? Because there's always a way to, bring topics in without really bringing topics in. Right? So using that for the blog, that's what I usually do. I have a way with words with people. I think my friends put it very well. We go assuming you're what you listen to that you want, and I'm like, that's what it is. I enjoy walking up to people and be like, hey girl, you know, I like you too. You know, sometimes it could be too much because some other people are like, oh, why is he, coming on to another girl like that? Is it because she could be this or she could be this? And yes, sometimes it's devotion, but the fact that I have this humbleness of my devotion, I guess, sort of propels me to be able to want to say whatever with people. It does get challenging. I've been in situations where it's like, okay, so you need to shut up now. So we need to be energetic. And they're like, okay, I'm sorry, every time I were talking, I did this, I shouldn't have, like I can always tell when someone's feeling weird. And in order for me to shut up, is this person weird? Not weird. I always try to want to approach. And I felt a little bit weird at the time. I apologize. It also creates trust as well. Because not only are you coming on as a friend, you're coming on as I correct myself because I'm not perfect myself. So for me, it's always use the person's language. Watch them and then be able to communicate with them using their language, right? Maybe it's an autistic trait for me as well, and being sort of read people and know maybe the best way to communicate with that person. Sometimes it's really difficult to help people how to present the package. Like a salesperson.
Like no exchanges, no returns, fine sale. It's like, but I don't even sign up for it. I didn't even get my credit card. Now you
got me on the subscription now. I didn't ask for.
Thank you for that. And you know what I wanted to bring to just kind of in that area code is that for me, I had to realize that no one needs to be safe. And as the spirit that is having this human experience that knows that we're all connected to the same source, whatever higher power we call it, I had to really know that or realize for myself that when I felt as though I was trying to be in that savior or be that support, really tune into, am I doing this because I am being called to or I feel like I'm trying to save? And when I know that I'm being called to, it just flows through me. Like when I'm on these lives, 99.9% of the time, it's the stuff that flows through me. These aren't my words. I don't take ownership to them. I'm just an open vessel, and life expresses through me. And I navigate a lot of my life through that, knowing that when I'm meant to deliver a message to someone or just be that vessel that life wants to express through, I don't even have attachment to what's coming out of me. So when you don't have attachment to what's coming out of you, once it's out, it's done. Versus when there's attachment of what's coming out, that means that either you're still trying to believe it, you're still trying to. There's some connection you have to wanting to get the gold star for sharing it. So you're going to say, yeah, I was a part of the awakening that you had, and that's the badge that you carry to give yourself that Girl Scout or Boy Scout badge of honor to say that I did the thing, or there's just something that's outside of is being organically, naturally expressed through. And I feel like a lot of times we live in a world where people live in a victim mentality. So a lot of times they want to be saved, and I know that for myself to be true. And that's how I navigated the majority of my life as a victim. I've seen that growing up. I've seen the benefits and perks of it when I was using or being playing that role and character. It came with everything that comes with being a victim. Oh my God, let me get that for you. Oh my God, let me do that for you. Oh my God, let me comfort it. And to show you because you were going through something, and that's where for me, like I know oh so well how to identify when someone is trying to save me or when someone is playing victim. And that's when I see like bring it to another topic because I said I had some things to unpack today. This is the conversation is for right now today, okay?
Yes.
But also to now shifted to another experience where I had to honor and express myself. So last week I shared that I have a friend that's like crashing on my face for like and it's been a week. Last week it was only 24 hours and it was a little heavy, it was a lot. And it's been a lot that I have been navigating through in this experience, y'all. But when I say that, I don't want to share this. When you are encountering someone who has an identity that is scary, meaning like that was great now, and seeing someone who's playing the character in role, you know how they navigate, you know how they operate, because you were that main character that plays that role, so you know the ins and outs and all the things. And I realized that this is the characters are different. I didn't see it in well, not like I've seen it in the beginning, y'all. I was just not wanting to see it. So I allowed this experience to happen. But now I'm seeing like, okay, what we agreed upon and what you're actually like showing me is not what it is. But I see that the victim is going to find reasons to why they sneak their way into staying longer than what we agreed to, why they're not honoring the things that they said to or said in regards to being able to crash in my place. So I wanted to bring it to the conversation because I had to have another uncomfortable conversation last night and honor myself and express myself. But I had to set a boundary of like not right or wrong in the judging, but I really did care like, you know what, this isn't in alignment. And it's not because you're this evil person, this bad person, person who is doing all these wrong things. I'm just in the flow in which I operate and which you operate, and they're not in alignment. We're not flowing. There's a lot of resistance that is in this river. And me having this awareness, I just know it's not aligned in my house, in my space, and my peace. And just knowing that that is what it is and sharing that from someone who is in the work, you can state that. I'm like, okay, well, that is true. Like, I know that I'm not getting sleep, you're not getting sleep. I'm having a creeping and you're like sleeping, so it's just not really in alignment. For someone who's in the victim mindset, they go into, well, I'm doing this and this, that, and they go into the explanation of what they're doing wrong, what's going wrong, not doing right. And when you're expressing yourself, honoring yourself, it comes with having to be stern and love, but also knowing that you're not responsible for what is received. Once it came out, how they perceive what you say, it's not your way to care. And that's why I had to just really stay with that because, of course, once I said, okay, this is alignment, I'm going to honor what I agreed to. But after that, I can't do anything more. And then they were throwing, well, I got this going on. So all the things came out of like the attic and the closet of all these major things that they're experiencing. And I heard them, but I still said, it's still not alignment. So I just shared that because I feel like something you the savior. Well, okay, you got this going on, so I'm going to dishonor myself to honor what you need because of what you are seeing or experiencing. Honoring it's just not the right fit, and that's okay. So I want to bring that to the conversation. I know I said it last time, I fired myself, and like y'all.
Yes. I love that right now. I love that because you really brought to light how those two roles, those two identities, like feed each other, right? So there's something that I want to bring up too. I had a situation today that very much aligns with this. It was so interesting because I was like, how did this happen? But now I see it's an opportunity for sharing. But first, I just want to say those two identities, um, how they feed each other. Because for someone to be a victim and feel like they can really be a victim, that savior role has to exist. And for someone to feel like they can really be a savior, that victim role has to exist. And people know how to play their parts. Like they knew their lines. They knew, okay, as soon as Ray Mel says she's not going to be able to extend this or this is my warning, whatever, I'm going to bring up all the reasons that I need help and all the reasons why I can't do this on my own. I just really need your help, and it would be great if you could be a good friend. All of that stuff starts to come up. And then the savior role, like you were saying, would be like, oh, this person's going through all these things. It's my responsibility. I have to help them. I have to support them. I have to be the good person here. And then the victim goes, yes, yes, thank you. And they're just in this chaos and it's not flowing. But people don't have the awareness often to recognize that they're perpetuating these situations because they're feeding into these roles. And the example that was presented to me today, um, I went up this morning to run some tasks. I stopped saying the word errands because anyway, I looked up the word in any case. I'm going down the rabbit hole, but I went to run some personal tasks today. And